Man, let me tell you something. I've scoured the internet looking for the best way to get fit, live long, and look awesome. And if you're watching this video, it's likely that you have too. Now, I'm not some master of losing fat that's going to teach you this one and done, easiest way of doing it. Because guess what? The easiest way is doing what actually works for you. What I am going to do is show you some of the things I've learned, how I approach fat loss, and give you some mindset shifts so that you can walk away from this video ready to tackle your own health goals with a sustainable solution that doesn't make you hate your life. Who am I to talk about this? Well, again, I'm not some master personal trainer, fitness influencer, or anything. But I've learned enough about this stuff through both research and my personal journey that I feel comfortable telling you what's working for me and how I think you can apply these principles too. I've been fat my whole life, really, ever since I was a kid. Then, shortly after high school, I started losing weight. I lost a lot of it, and I felt pretty proud of that too. But the way I went about it resulted in muscle loss, fainting episodes, and lethargy. So, as you can imagine, that didn't last too long. Eventually, I fell straight back into my old eating habits, and they were even worse this time. I was out of control and gaining weight in record time. Part of me thought that after I lost all that weight that first time, I could just let myself go because it would be so easy to lose it again. But that's not the case. Losing weight that way is so dangerous. I had to get my habits under control. I couldn't go on living my life in a constant cycle of rapid weight loss and rapid weight gain over and over again. I had gotten to a point where it was really bad, and it felt like it happened all in a flash. I needed to figure out how I could lose fat while retaining and hopefully even building muscle so I can get the sustainable, long lasting results I was after. Now, I've had my ups and downs since then, but after being 350 pounds at 6'5", I can proudly say that I've gotten my first full body weight pull up at 275 pounds. I'm not done, of course. Still just getting started considering this is a lifelong journey. I never really absorbed that when I heard others saying it. Lifelong journey. I want a six pack now. But seriously, I'm so glad I dumped that way of thinking that had me chasing new fat loss plans and, fasting techniques that would promise to get me my goals expeditiously. I've seen the time it took me to steadily go down from 350 pounds to 275. I'd gladly take on another 2 to 3 years just to get to 220 and start toning up my muscles from there. The difference in how you feel is phenomenal. And if slow and steady is the way I have to go to make sure my results stay, then you better believe that's what I'm doing. You're probably wondering when I'm going to get to the point and explain my approach, so I'm not going to make you wait any longer. Here are the three guiding principles I've used for losing fat without hating my life. Track. Make tracking easy. Move. Use energy and build muscle. Enjoy. Don't restrict to the point of exhaustion. I'm going to go through each of these and show you the way I've found to work best. I hated the idea of tracking my calories. Weighing my food every time I wanted to eat? Nah, that wasn't the way for me. But I went at it without tracking for a long time, and the results showed it. When I stopped tracking for a while, I stayed around that same 305-pound mark without anything changing, really, just fluctuating up and down 5 pounds. Nothing was moving. So that's the first key. You can't improve what you don't measure. What are the things you need to measure? Calories, weight, movement. Use the health app to track your steps. Weigh yourself every morning to see if what you're doing is working and to see how certain things affect your weight. Use any app to track your caloric intake. I'll tell you how I make this as easy as possible for myself in a second, but since calorie expenditure is the most important aspect of weight control, let me make sure we're all up to speed. Your body needs a certain amount of calories to function. Calories are burnt through motion and a ton of other processes throughout your body. Calories are basically sourced from the food you take in primarily and secondarily from the fat stored in your body. It can be taken from your muscle too, but we won't really get into that. Just eat your protein and don't go too far into a calorie deficit. If you're not getting enough calories from your food, then your body will break down the fat you stored and use it for energy. That's called being in a calorie deficit. That's your goal when tracking calories. Whatever app you pick, Lose It, MyFitnessPal, Calculator, whatever, just use it. Normally, they'll take in your information and your goal, and then they'll tell you how many calories you should eat to reach that goal. You don't really want to exceed a calorie deficit of 1,000, and even I've found 500 to 700 calorie deficit to be, the golden range for me. Now, with that out of the way, here's how I make tracking as easy as possible for me. Meal prep every week, at least one meal. So for me, this takes the form of dinner meal preps that I get ready every Sunday. My go-to is rice, tofu, lentils, avocado, and a mix of roasted veggies with whatever seasonings I'm feeling up to that week. But the formula is this: pick one carb, one main source of protein, one legume, a fat, and veggies to top everything off. What I do is prep everything in my tracking app with all the bulk ingredients I plan to put in. Then I go to the serving aspect and put how many servings this recipe will take. Usually, this is 5 for me. After that, I go ahead and make sure it's not too many calories for my daily goals, and then I go ahead and prep the meals. With this method, it's super easy to make sure you have a large chunk of your calories accounted for already with a healthy meal. And it makes it so the specific amount of calorie tracking you have to do every day with all the tedious stuff you need to track is a lot easier because there's less of it. You can go a step further and do this for breakfast or lunch so you know what calories you're going to be taking in from there. And it's important to make sure you're hitting your daily protein goals as well with this. I like to prep the fruits for my protein shakes into little bags so that I know exactly how many calories are going in. I found this step to be a game changer for me. Rather than having to count calories for every meal every day, it streamlines the process so that you can pick an enjoyable meal for the week and only have to calculate those calories once. Now, tracking your calories is very important for obvious reasons, but it's also very important to track your movement. The basic first step is to pick a daily step count and stick to it. 10,000 steps is the standard and an amazing place to start if you're sedentary like I was. That was my focus every day, and believe me, the effects go beyond just calorie burning. Going out in the sun, seeing people, seeing nature, nothing can beat these things to better your mental health. I personally split my 10K steps with a morning walk and a walk after dinner. It doesn't matter if you go on one long walk or 10 short ones, just do it. Another key aspect of movement is resistance training. This is how I retain muscle and hopefully build a bit all while losing fat. I used to go to the gym, but I found that I'm much more motivated to do something from home that actually correlates with my goals directly. I always loved seeing these ripped guys doing pull ups and muscle ups effortlessly and other skill based movements. I don't know if I'll ever get into the skill based stuff myself, but I have fallen in love with basic calisthenics. My goal has always been to do 10 pull ups with perfect form, so I'm preparing my body for that. And I've gotten my first unassisted pull up recently, which felt amazing. I can go over exactly how I did that in another video if you want. Just drop a comment or a like and let me know. But the main point of this is working out from home doesn't make me hate my life. I enjoy it. That's the only way for it to be sustainable, and it has to be as sustainable for you to achieve your long term goals. Also, it was easy for me to start. I got this $25 pull up bar from Facebook Marketplace, and that was all I needed. Find what you like, and the only way to do that is by trying things. I currently do 2 steps to failure or near failure every day with a pull movement, push movement, and leg movement of my choice. I found this to be sustainable for me. I listen to my body every day, and if I'm feeling too sore for a full workout, I'll just do 1 set. If I'm feeling top shape, I might do more. And in the future, I'll move to a consistent 3 sets per day. But for now, I'm happy with the progress I'm making. If you're interested in this sort of training, I highly recommend checking out K Bogues on YouTube. There's nothing worse than giving up on a new regimen that you thought was going to get you to your goal weight, 6 pack, or whatever it is you had in mind. It sucks to go from so optimistic to what feels like suddenly slipping back into old negative patterns. The reason this is happening is because the regimen sucks. It's not enjoyable. It's probably not for you. Now, how do you make a plan that you'll actually stick to? You have to enjoy it. So maybe your regimen was plain bad, or maybe you didn't have the discipline and willpower yet to maintain that level of asceticism over a sustained period of time. I don't want to act like discipline isn't part of the equation. The way to fix a program that's actually reasonable, but you just don't have the discipline yet, is actually really simple. Ease into it. Find the most enjoyable way to get started. Can't restrict your calories to a deficit of 500? Fine. Stick to maintenance for a week. Then see where you can go from there. Hate training legs? Fine. Don't train them. Fine, don't train them. You'll want to eventually. Hate walking? Fine, cycle, swim, swing your arms up and down and around for hours. I don't care. Just start somewhere you can manage and stick to it. Be okay with doing a little bit to move towards your goal every day. That's much better than starting out by doing a lot and then not being able to sustain it. So enjoy yourself. If you feel like you need to eat out one weekend, then go for it. You might not hit your calorie goals every day of every week. I know I don't. If I can hit them 6 out of 7 or 5 out of 7 on a slow week, then I'm thrilled. That's a huge win. As long as I can continue and love the journey along the way, then I'm happy. I know that with this mentality, I'll achieve my goals no matter what. It's just a matter of time, and you can too. So, I hope that that gave you an idea on how you can attain your goals without hating your life. Tell me down in the comments what your goals are and what you're going to do differently going forward after this video. And if you found this helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos like this. I'm here to share a realistic, gentle approach to genuine growth, where we embrace the present moment and take small steps towards actualizing our best lives.